So, welcome on in, everyone, to our mindfulness moment for today. I'm Dr. Shannon Sims, and I thought that today it might be nice to spend our meditative awareness reflecting on the internal and external representation of the spiral. This is an image that's really been calling to me recently, and so I wanted to bring this forward in our time here today. So, just inviting you to find your way into a comfortable space. And so, from the place of symbolism, spirals often represent the universal pattern of growth and evolution, eternity and continuity. And we see spirals appear frequently in nature, in the natural world around us, in plants and other life forms, even with the weather. So the spiral shows us this natural dynamic of growth and metamorphosis. And so during this time, I'd love for us to be able to get into our bodies and explore this sort of spiral dance or this movement within our own bodies, kind of tending to our interior in this way. And so I invite you to just reflect on this image of the spiral and what that represents for you as we move through a little bit of movement today. And so if you would like to be seated, that's perfect. This can also be done standing up or yeah, seated or standing. Probably lying down is not the best posture for this or for some of these movements. But just to begin, if you're seated there, just finding that awareness, just dropping down into your seat. And we'll focus here for a few moments on the hips and on this base that supports us. And just beginning with a little bit of movement as you start to tilt and circle the hips, really feeling into the base of the pelvis. And so almost like just a real small, gentle movement here to start. Almost like your pelvis is like this bowl that's holding water, and you're just gently swirling the water around the edges. So just allowing for this spiral movement just to organically begin right there at the very base of the pelvis. And beginning to allow this movement to originate and be whatever feels most comfortable for you. And spiraling around, and you might even feel that movement growing. Slowly allowing those spirals, that circular motion and movement to travel in a way that it wants to, maybe grows a little bit bigger. And expanding that awareness from the pelvis, even to noticing if the spine starts to become involved as you swirl and spiral around. Just feeling into this movement and how it wants to unfold in your own body. And then you might switch directions if you've been spiraling in one direction, just moving the opposite way. And so, of course, as we are human beings, we are of this natural world, and there are spirals within us, right? So, of course, the double helix structure of the DNA molecule, this is nature's favorite, favorite form of energy transmission. And so now just feeling as that spiral begins to grow, maybe noticing it moves up to the chest, maybe the shoulders are getting involved a little bit. Maybe even the head starts to become involved as this movement makes its way, spiraling up the spinal cord. Feeling into any crunches or cracking that might be happening as you invite this movement. It is all okay. And then slowly starting to allow that movement to spiral back down into the base of the pelvis, just slowing that movement very slowly. It's coming back into stillness. In your own time. And then we'll drop our attention and our intention for movement down into the ankles. So if you're seated there, just allowing a circular motion, drawing the ankles and the feet, starting to bring some movement into the ankles. You might go in a clockwise or a counterclockwise direction. Continuing with that movement here. It's lubricating the joints of the ankles, the tissues into the feet. And this part of our body that does so much work to support our weight and to carry our movement as we walk or run from place to place. So just enjoying some of that movement here, circling around with your feet. If you'd been going in one direction, beginning the other way now. And you might even notice that if you're drawing some larger circles with the toes and kind of getting that movement even up the legs a little bit, maybe the knees start to get involved a little bit. Even feeling into the femurs, the large bone of our thigh starting to rotate in the hip. And starting to gently slow that movement, that circular motion, coming back into stillness, placing the feet back on the floor, whatever is comfortable for you. And then we bring that awareness traveling back up the body, and we'll come into the wrists. So the hands and the wrists just starting to give some love here and rotating the hands around, rotating in the wrists. Starting to awaken the joints and the muscles and the tendons that are there. Again, another part of our body that works so hard for us, especially with computer work. Really sending some love and some kind movement here into the wrists. Allowing for this spiraling motion to be as small or as large as what feels good for you in your body. So again, if you're going in one direction here, just reversing that motion. Really feeling into this movement. You might wiggle your fingers around too. Beginning to draw those spirals just a little bit smaller, eventually coming into stillness here with the wrists. And placing the arms and the hands wherever feels comfortable for you. As we travel with our awareness up to the shoulders, just starting to roll the shoulders. Rolling rolling the shoulders, making nice circles here. And you might be moving both of your shoulders in sync or maybe oscillating with that rotation of the shoulders. Whatever feels good in your body, getting some movement here with the shoulders. It can be as big or as small as what feels right for you. So I'm continuing to move the shoulders here in equal measure. And so spirals are all around us. Right? They're patterning our very existence from microorganism to macroorganism, from our very own DNA molecules to the vastness of galaxies where stars are born. And so changing direction of the shoulders if you've been going in one particular way. Again, noticing if there's any sort of creaking or crunching or cracking that's happening here as you're waking up. These very large joints in the body. And then allowing just organically and naturally for the shoulders to come back down, just coming back into stillness. And then we will allow our head to come into this spiral as well. So just starting to take some nice circles here with the head. It's almost like you're using your nose to draw a circle. And moving as slow or as quickly as what feels good for you here. Just drawing the head down over to one side, falling back, coming to the other side, just in this circular motion here, just taking some nice head rolls. And as you feel ready, changing the other direction. And this is often a spot where we might really sense into those crunches and cracks. It is all okay. Maybe even find here that if there's some tension or tightness being held in a part of your neck, that you just hold there for a moment, allowing that stretching to really go a little bit deeper. And in your own time, allowing this movement of the head to come back into stillness. Finding that balance and straightness of the spine, head stacked over shoulders, stacked over hips. And if your eyes are closed, I invite you to open the eyes as we'll now focus on the eyes and bring some movement here. Just drawing some circles with the eyes, making some big circles here. So looking far around the room without moving your head, just allowing this movement to be in the eyes. Just drawing some big circles with the eyes here. Looking as far down to the left, up and to the right. And one direction and then switching to the other. Just really feeling what you feel here as you begin and continue to take these nice big eye circles. Yeah, and that can feel like a lot sometimes. So coming back, maybe inviting the eyes to close again if that feels good for you. And just coming back into stillness. So we're quieting that movement for now. Just noticing how you're feeling in your body. As we bring this meditation to a close, just acknowledging that we are sharing this space in meditative awareness. And you could remain here as long as you like, or even continue to move in your own space if that feels wanted and needed. Whatever feels right for you. And thank you so much for joining with me in this spiral movement. I'm wishing you all a wonderful day.